Hello.
What's up, everyone?
Yo, what's up?
We're back with Miss Overkill Hill doing her victory lap.
Thank you. Please hold your applause. No autographs.
Has CPS paid you a visit yet for child abuse? No, not yet.
Not yet.
You're on their list.
I don't know. Do they have that in Brazil? Or is it just called like normal labor? It's like it doesn't count for the Nike factories, but you can abuse children.
I think that's in Oregon, but you know.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it's there. Maybe one is there.
It's everywhere. There's corruption everywhere. Yeah, I got off scot-free. I got to punch a kid in the face and live to tell the tale if I'll end up in jail or on a list.
I'm telling you, you're living the dream. People just living vicariously through you.
Yeah. Well, you get to live the dream soon, too.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm still waiting on a date secured.
Okay. But probably like April-ish. Is that when the first draft is?
They already did the draft. So the first show is supposed to be in LA either the last weekend of April or the first weekend of May.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So
you know, slow reveal. You know, they're very dramatic over at GFL. They just like to just give us a little bit, you know?
Yeah, and the AI graphics that they had on display when they were doing the draft was pretty entertaining.
Protect your neck.
Oh my God.
It's really catchy. I can't stop.
Oh my God. How many times have you listened to the one thing I'm mad at is that they didn't make an AI superhero for you.
I'm pissed.
What?
It's because I don't have tits.
They give you tits and the AI. You should have sent your Final Fantasy VII costume that we did, the Tifa outfit.
I know. Let them know. I'm totally into role playing.
I'll give you a little beat rush right now for your AI hip hop song. Pop-pop-poo.
I know. I was jealous. I'm like, I would love an AI replica of myself as a superhero. Who wouldn't?
Well, I just downloaded an app, and I think that we can figure it out with the app.
Thank you.
It's I forget what it's called, but have you seen those memes where it's like a picture of a girl, but then it looks like she takes her shirt off and then she has pecs and she's flexing?
Not yet.
So
tell me about it.
I saw this meme twice and I was like, oh my God, I have to figure out how people are doing this because I want to use it. But they have a lot of like AI generated dumb images and stuff. And I feel like that is where GFL did all their graphics for the draft.
It might have been. You got a shout out. You got a name drop on there.
Yeah.
The gal that was overlooking their social media.
Oh, yeah.
On the live stream.
Yeah, I did one of those things where I was like, I'm going to tweet whatever I need to get put on the live stream.
You know what to do. We all do.
I tried a couple other ones and I think they could sense my sarcasm. So then I just went full positivity and they picked up on it. They were like, oh.
See, catch more flies with sugar, honey. What's that saying?
Yes.
You know what I mean.
More flies with honey than
vinegar.
Yes, that's the one.
Yes.
I was going to say salt, but who knows? I think flies might like salt too. Yeah, so the chick was like, rest assured, Angela, Jessica is on the board. And I was like,
that's my girl. Good looking out.
Oh, so funny. So the weekend was good. Unfortunately, I missed all the fights. I got to see little peeks of certain fights. There were a couple of people that I was surprised with, like Chaos. How he got submitted. I know the guy that he was fighting was known for his dart strokes, but then he was just really slick with it. So that was one of the fights that I was watching as I'm warming up, and I was like, oh, don't want that to happen to me. But also, I've been working on my dollars, so there you go.
It's kind of like it's a mix of emotions when you're backstage. I kind of try and avoid watching like what's going on live because I'm like, I already have nerves. Yeah. We don't need to add to this. But then other times it can be like really motivating and exciting.
Yeah. The way I think of it is we're all going into war, and we're all like yelling and running down like the line together, and some of us will get stabbed and some of us won't, but we're all doing it together. So you have this hive mind of, all right, everyone onto the battlefield, and it gives you that sense of camaraderie. So even though the other side of that fence might be doom, at least you're not by yourself.
Sun Tzu would be proud of you.
There you go. Up here where there is less doom than more doom. But I was pretty happy with I was a little disappointed with how close the fight was, but I was really happy with the first round, and I felt like I could have done that all 3 rounds. I just how things happen, and I still have to watch the tape to actually like remember what was going through my head in the second and third. But I really felt like I could have done that all 3 rounds, or at least gotten closer to the sub. But this fight was one where it really boosted my confidence, and especially the grappling department. Like, she landed a pretty slick, like, I forget what you call it, but it's like a single leg. It's like that little dump lift.
Yeah.
I forget what it's called, but I actually, Justin was having us drill it for a different fight that I had. But, she hit a really slick one of those in the 3rd round and then walked away. And I was like,
you really?
I was like, excuse me, are you afraid of my ground game? Are you afraid of little old me's ground game, Miss Brazilian, Miss BJJ?
Not all Brazilians are jiu-jitteros. Yeah.
Hey.
Little known fact.
I know. It's like not all black people can dance or sing or play basketball, but
I always assumed as such.
I know you did.
I did.
It's like,
and then I met you.
It's like,
and I was like, oh. Weird.
Wait a second. You don't do any of those fun things the other ones do, like Jessica.
Like, well, I've already invested in this one, so here we are.
Oh, God. Let's strike that from the record. Can't talk about investing in black people on Black History Day or Black History Month, all right, Jess? I'm looking out for you.
I meant this person, but okay, if you want to take it there.
No, we're not. We're running it back. It's okay, guys. she gets to dig herself out of that hole. I know what you meant. And no, I agree. Like, it's the same with Brazilians. You can't count on them all being great at Brazilian jiu-jitsu, even though it's in their blood.
Mm-hmm. Their grandparents are all very upset with them. I will say, though, that she did make some adjustments in the 2nd round, but you made adjustments like throughout the round and then in the 3rd.
Cool.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, she fought well. You just fought better.
Yay.
Thanks. You're welcome.
Yeah, so it was a good night. I was happy with the amount of things that I was able to mix up with. And yeah, I don't know. It felt good to get my first split decision win. I know that's not a thing that is said by anyone, but
it was a big moment for you just because of the controversy that you've experienced. So I would take that as a huge win.
Yeah. It's the first time ever in UFC history that I've gotten a split decision win, even though I have the most, I think I'm like tied with the most split decisions of all athletes in the UFC. So it's kind of like a wild coincidence that I would always be on the losing end. So finally I'm on the winning end with this one. So it's like, as soon as I got out of the cage, maybe 3 or 4 people were just like, well done. Like, I don't know why it was split. And I was like, okay, thank you. Because as soon as that happens, you're judging your own performance, and you're like trying to weigh like, well, what is it that I didn't see that they saw? And when they said that, it just kind of validated, okay, I did a good job. I won the fight. Like, good. All right.
Yeah. I didn't think it should have been a split decision either.
Yeah.
I thought the second round was super close, and optics wise, just the bigger shots that she was landing could have looked better to the judges. But you definitely got the first and third.
Okay. Yeah. And the judges coincidentally gave me the first and second.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So yeah, and I think it just looked different in person than it did on TV, or maybe like the commentary was swaying people and they're kind of seeing one thing or another. But the one thing that was annoying was after, in between the second and third, I looked at the camera because I was like, I don't know where all this blood is coming from. And I saw it was coming from my nose, but it was more of like a scratch than like, oh, my nose is broken.
Yeah.
And I think it looked like my nose was broken in that second round. But it's just a scratch. Like, it was kind of like, it kind of got busted. My nose always bleeds in fights anyway. It's like a strong gust of wind can do that. But then that on top of the scrape made it look like, oh, it's like cut here, you're pouring blood out there. And I was just like, dude, why is my nose being so dramatic right now? Like, nothing happened. I can breathe through it. I could blow my nose at that moment. And even the cut man was like, oh, don't blow your nose. And I'm like, it's fine.
I hate when they tell me that. I was like, give me the towel. I have boogers.
You know what? You're out of here. Where's the other cut man? You're fired.
They're just, ever since what happened with like Eddie Alvarez, like you never want that for a fighter. So I understand the caution, definitely.
And I've never had a broken nose, so I wouldn't know if it just didn't feel like anything. Like if that, but
as someone who has had several, I will tell you that you know it.
Oh, it's hurty?
It's very painy.
It's very owie.
Very.
Okay, then yeah, it was just a flesh wound.
A scratch.
Twas just a scratch. And it is what it is. But maybe the judges were able to see that and they were okay with the optics of all that blood on my face in between the second and third. Yeah. But I'm happy to get the win regardless. Obviously, I mean, it's just a weird one because I got so close to getting to like a finished position in the first round. It drives me nuts, and that's one of the things that I'm going to go into in this next camp. And just once I get back into training is trying to get from that position to a finished position a little faster where I won't just kind of run out of things to try and just start kneeing her. But I mean, I felt like that was an okay decision at the time, but it would have been nicer to be able to sink my hooks in and really like get a finish.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is what it is, but I'm feeling good. My body's good. And homegirl was walking around afterwards with like a sling, her arm in a sling, and she had her leg iced up. So I'm like, okay, did the damage. Everyone told me I won. I don't have to worry about this driving me nuts.
Yeah. No, you're good.
The woes of winning a fight. For me. But you have to tell me how the rest of the fights were because I missed all of them. I did see most of the very first fight, Alvia versus how do you say her name? Cavalcanti or something, the Brazilian girl who's been kind of on a tear recently.
Yeah, she's been doing really well. She actually retired Avila. She announced it. Cavalcanti. Jacqueline. Jacqueline she just did really well. She made it virtually impossible for Julia Avila to come forward to mount any real offense. She just picked her apart from the outside. So that was... It was a solid, good, clean performance from Cavalcanti.
Yeah, Julia Alvia, though, she came back pretty hard in the third round. Like, she put everything into finishing strong, which I thought was a really just a really cool way to put a button on your career. Like, you're coming in against a person who you're really a huge underdog against. Yeah. And she already knew that weekend that she was retiring. Like she, when I saw her in the locker room, she was like, "Oh, hey," because we never officially met, but I've followed her for a while, and she's just like, "Oh, hey, yeah, it's cool to be on the card together." And then she's like, "Yeah, I'm retiring this card." And I was like, "Oh, why?" And I think it was just it just didn't make sense for her anymore to continue to do this. She has a beautiful daughter. Her daughter has so much personality. Did you see the video with the post-fight press conference?
No, I missed it. Is it adorable?
It's so cute. She snatches her mic, and it kind of felt like an Office moment. Like she's having this heartfelt speech because they ask her, how do you see your legacy as you're retiring and blah, blah, blah. And she starts saying this really heartfelt, like passionate speech about how she came from nothing and she's living the American dream. And then her daughter goes, ba, 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 ba. Her daughter just like yanks the mic from her and she's like, "Mama, dada." Just like, oh shit,
sweet thing.
And she just keeps going, because she's like, hey, somebody's gonna hear me. So she just finishes her speech, and then she doesn't snatch the mic from her daughter or anything. She just lets her say her piece as well, and then goes, "Okay, say bye bye." Oh, so many emotions.
Aw, that's a sweet moment.
Yeah, it was really sweet. But yeah, she knew she was retiring already. She fought a really tough fight, and yeah, I think her opponent's definitely gonna be on her way to doing big things now that she's streaking like that.
Yeah, well, that last round with Avila coming forward the way she did is much how it went in the Cavalcanti and Youssef Zalal. That's pretty much how it went. Youssef Zalal, who I thought he might win, but I like rooting for the people that I like. And,
we're besties. We're besties doppelgangers.
Exactly. So I'm like, I can't go against him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there's no way. But Zalal is on a tear. He is just really technical, really fast, great footwork, switches his stance constantly, just constantly moving, and was constantly just out of striking range from Kattar, and he made it really, really difficult until the third round. Kattar just said, fuck it, bit down, and just started coming forward, and I wish he had done that the whole fight.
And that's one thing I was saying, that we need to get a little dumber with the striking sometimes. Like, we need to DDP it every now and then, just to get something going and just to get some scores on the clock. And I think we have someone like Cavalcanti, who's a really like technical inboxer. He's really good at using his elbows from the outside and that kind of thing. It's hard for someone like that to let loose. Like, he's tight, he's in the pocket, he's technical. And so if he has to go crazy to score something, it's going to be really hard for him to do.
Yeah, he put Zalal just on his bike in the third round. And Zalal literally barely had any offense because he was moving around like he was on a dodgeball, like in a dodgeball game, like just ducking everything. And I mean, every once in a while he would land, but it was a lot of running.
Okay, interesting.
But those adjustments that Kattar made in the third round were what could have, won him the fight early on.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate that it didn't kick in until the third round. I get it though, because like you were saying, he is very technical and tight, and it's hard to get away from that. But he definitely felt the sense of urgency, and he was doing some really good things to, stepping in punch, starting with the back right, coming in with the jab, walking in, and then just throwing like with more assertiveness in everything, and it looked good. He had a good third round.
Maybe because he's been doing a couple headliners recently, maybe it was hard for him to get started a little sooner too. Because when you get used to those, like, some people, 5 rounds might seem like more work, but for a lot of people, they hinge on the 5 rounds. Like, you see a lot of champions who reign for a long time. They use those 5 rounds strategically. They might win one, lose one, just so they can take, like, take notes and win third round harder and like win the championship rounds as hard as possible. So yeah, it's a shame that he started to find his groove in the third round, because I love his style.
Yeah, he's a beast. He's devastating. He's an amazing striker. I think he has some of the best boxing in the UFC. He's really fun to watch, and I love his style.
Yeah, but Zalal has a great story with being cut from the UFC and being able to claw his way back, just get a bunch of devastating wins, big-ass knockouts, and get back into a place where he's fighting someone as high level as Calvin Kattar. Like, that's insane. That's almost unheard of. Yeah, so kudos to him. You do your thing. And then what did you think about the main?
Well, so I thought that Rodriguez, I'm still not sure what to call him.
RoboCop. Or you could call him HoboCop.
Oh,
Because of the Portuguese.
Yes,
I'm not calling him a hobo.
We get it. We get it. But good save. Dig yourself out of that one real quick.
I know. Well, I can say it because it's Black History Month. So I can't be called racist on Black History Month. It's written in the rules.
I don't know if that's a thing, but I'll buy. It's fine. So I thought he would be really dangerous early, but we weren't I didn't know how he was going to be in the 4th and 5th, because that's a big guy. He cuts a lot of weight, but he has potential to devastate, in the early rounds. And it looked like he was well on his way to it in the first, but Cannonier is such a pro. He's such a vet, and he's been there on the big stage against some of the top people in the division. And he made those adjustments. He kept strong, and he started just really capitalizing on the fatigue that I saw early in Rodriguez.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I was able to check a little bit of the clips, the first round, it looked like he had him just running as well. But you can see Cannonier is still trying to hit his check hooks, hit his counters as he's running away from all this pressure, and that's just a big dude. RoboCop, he's a big old guy with big limbs, big arms and legs, and he was rushing. He was trying to drown Cannonier. So it was really cool to see him come back. And what was it, the 4th round?
The 4th round. So at the end of the 3rd, he stumbled. Rodriguez got put on his back and was trying to finish towards the end of the bell. And Rodriguez did not recover into the 4th. And so it was early stoppage, very strategically planned. It was really impressive how he just got on the gas pedal at the start of the 4th and took him out fast.
Nice. And not early stoppage the ref.
No. It was just early in the round.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, it was cool. I was, we were kind of looking back and forth between that and dinner. And then as soon as we saw him on the ground with his head bouncing off Gibbs, we're like, oh shit, what happened? What happened? It was pretty cool to see. And me and Cannonier were the 240 plus.
Yes. Of course, they mentioned that in the commentary.
He just happened to come out on top. So I've been on a couple cards with him. So I'm like, maybe he is a good luck charm. Book us again.
It's a thing.
Keep doing it. And he ended up recycling my weight cut video flowers.
That's so funny.
I left him in the workout room, and he saw him. Was like, "Oh, give him to my wife."
Oh, I love it.
So I feel like we were kind of helping each other out all weekend.
You were. I love it. Camaraderie that you speak of.
Exactly. So next week, we have UFC Seattle, and we should have some fun fights on there. But that thing was falling apart the second I got to Vegas.
I heard the whole thing was going to be canceled.
Really?
Yeah.
I had no idea. I would hear stuff, but I was still trying to don't look at anything, no distractions, video games. But yeah, so how did everything kind of start crumbling for UFC Seattle?
They just announced that things were literally falling apart. And that they were losing fights or something with disaster in Washington.
What?
I would have to pull up the headline. Hold on.
What disaster was happening in Washington?
Hold on. Maybe the whole UFC card was a disaster.
That was a disaster. Yeah, because I'm they literally planned the UFC card in the middle of the LA fires. So It was a 10-minute drive from the fires.
So hold on. This card has had 7 cancellations.
Wow.
Ketlin Vieira versus Macy Chiasson. Chiasson withdrew. And Barbosa versus Steve Garcia. Barbosa withdrew. Adam Fugit versus... Fugit. Fugit. I tried. Islam Dulatov.
I just like saying
injured.
It like that.
And then Fugit versus Billy Ray Goff. And then Fugit injured.
Oh, no.
Curtis Blades versus Rizvan Kinev. It's rescheduled.
You're going to get roasted in the comments.
I don't care. Fuck off.
Fuck it.
And then, Dominic Cruz is supposed to have his retirement fight against Rob Font, and Cruz is injured and is now retired. Yeah. Mansour Abdul Malik. I fucking nailed that one.
Hey.
Antonio Chicoli withdrew. So it is insane what has been happening. I'm pretty sure that was the disaster they're talking about.
Yeah.
There has been some salvage. We're still happening. It's, just a shadow of what it once was.
So I did get a call from Brian during fight week, and he said, hey, if you come out of this fight unscathed, would you be down for Seattle?
But with who?
I know, that's the problem. So we weren't able to make anything happen, but
I was like, against who?
But I was like, yeah, sign me a scrub. Sign me an atom weight to beat up.
I was like, who are you going to fight, Ketlin?
Maybe. Let's do it again, girl. You think you won?
No, big Ketlin.
Oh, that'd be fun.
The big one.
Yeah, no, that wouldn't be fun.
Don't do that.
I don't want to get stuck underneath that big hoe.
That's a big girl.
Dude, that would, she looks mean too. Like, I bet she beats up on the boys at the gym.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
She'll be like, hey, flyweight. Come here.
And they're like, really? Coach, no. Do I have to? Do I have to?
No. The bantamweights don't want to train with her even though they're the same size. Exactly. Nah, Joe. I'm good. Yeah. Yeah, dang. So they still have a few good cards or a few good fights on card.
Yeah, we have in the main event, we have Henry Cejudo versus Song Yadong. How fun is that name to say?
More fun than fuck it.
Brendan Allen versus Anthony Hernandez. That's going to be a fun one. I am really excited to see that because Anthony Hernandez, like, you look at him and you're like, fluffy, dude. We fought on the same card. He fought my favorite fighter, who's the savior of dogs in the floods of Brazil. Excuse me, sir.
Hey, sit down.
You could have had a mic. You could have been sitting here.
Come here. Hush.
Dad's back.
I know. He has to let him know. Hey, you're back in the house. In case you didn't realize.
Rob Font has been rescheduled, and now he's fighting Gene Matsumoto, who I'm not entirely I'm not entirely familiar with, but he is 16-0. So maybe they just brought him up.
He's off a Contender, right?
Yeah,
I believe. Let me see. Saw a couple little.
So he was supposed to be on 313. Or now he was pulled. Wait, what? Oh my God. Oh yeah, he was supposed to be on 313, but he was pulled to face Rob Font.
Okay.
So he's, yeah, it's super exciting. But I'm sure he was excited to fight on a bigger card than Seattle. But,
well, I mean, 313 was probably big too. Yeah. Is that the T-Mobile card?
Hold on, let me go back. My God, Angela.
I mean, they're both pay-per-views, but it's a bigger spot because he's fighting Rob Font.
Yeah,
I have no idea who he was fighting before. But yeah, it looked like Dom stopped by the gym the other day, and he's just kind of settling into that retirement mode. It was kind of sad to see him go out like that because he had I think people forget how good he was doing against Cheeto before his last fight or during his last fight before he lost. And you could tell that he wanted to just get one more in and go out on a shield.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's doing it gracefully, and I think he's doing, the best thing for himself. And I respect that. He's no stranger to, setbacks and ups and downs and injuries. And it really is unfortunate that it's, he's choosing this, or was forced to choose, either way.
Yeah, he just kind of got forced into it.
But I think he's handling it really well, and he has so many amazing things like in the future for him, and he's done so much in the sport.
Yeah, he was the one that convinced me to start doing stuff like this, because seeing how he transitioned into it so smoothly, how he could really nerd out on certain things. And
sir,
Butcher, you know who's here. It's Adam. Hush. Yeah, but yeah, he was one of the ones that showed, hey, there's life outside of fighting. You don't have to be totally obsessed with this part of the life that is super temporary. Mm-hmm. Like you start building these other skills and starting to put your thoughts and interests into other areas, and you'll end up living a happier life than when you're just, I'm a dumb athlete, I'm just trying to I need to let him out.
Oh my God, these noises.
You're being so much.
These noises.
You are worse than
You're like
Julia.
the daughter.
Yes, you're worse than her daughter. My God.
He'll be back.
Kids these days, me and my fur babies, fur babies are just like human babies. Oh my God.
Was that the doorbell? Maybe he's locked out.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Hold on, guys. Hold on, guys. No, I'm going to give him play-by-play. She's running down the hall. She's running fast. What is happening? Nobody ever comes down here. She literally lives in the middle of nowhere. Adam forgot his keys. I'm eavesdropping. Come on, Butcher.
Good job, buddy. Good job. You're such a good boy. My goodness, you saved Timmy from the well.
And he let everybody know about it. He likes gratification.
Yes. All right. Well, I'm in trouble now for having my phone.
We're filming.
Yeah, exactly.
He knew that.
I only missed 2 texts, so it's not a big deal.
That's fine.
So yes, Dom, we're gonna miss you.
Yeah, and it's just he's done so much for the sport.
Yeah,
he really put such a spotlight on that weight class, and continually gives back to the sport through everything that he does with commentary. One of the best technical analysts that we have.
Yeah.
Period.
Period.
So yeah, he's in a great spot. There's still lots for him to do in the sport.
Yeah. Speaking of retiring, what happened with your boy Chris Weidman? He retired when I was at the LA show.
And I was there too.
2 days later, well, I was at the weigh-in show.
Oh.
Yeah, so he did his whole I'm retiring. I'm sitting there in my badly chose outfit for the jumping game, but I'm sitting there waiting to get brought on stage, and I'm like, they told me that we'd start maybe 20 minutes ago, but then I see all these videos being plugged in, and it's Weidman's parents and his high school friends and all these other people. So they did this whole big send-off for Chris Weidman on the weigh-in show at LA. And so I'm just sitting there
psych.
Guess I got bumped. But then they actually did bring me on, so I was happy about that, because I thought they just were going to be hey, sorry, we don't need you. I was
I got dressed up for nothing?
I got my cheeks out for nothing.
Damn.
Yeah, so I accidentally hijacked that part with bending over and hugging everyone in that outfit.
You knew what you were doing.
But what I was going to say is, after that moment, literally a week later, he's back in the GFL.
Well, GFL is throwing some stupid amount of money around. And so they probably gave him a number he couldn't resist.
Offer you can't refuse.
Yes.
Yeah. Any idea? Any of the numbers that are floating around, like the big numbers? Have you heard any whistles in the wind?
I've heard, $250,000.
Ooh.
Yeah.
To who?
I heard Paige.
Wow.
I know. Well, she has a huge following. People will tune in to watch her fight, and I think that they've expressed this. I don't know if they've done it publicly, but what it looks like is that they're getting a bunch of names on the roster, whether they're going to get drafted or not, but it's creating a buzz.
Right.
And it's going to get eyes on it, which it has. It's done a really good job. People are still talking about it, and people are still really curious to see what's going to happen. So you have people with really big followings that will fill the seats. Veterans coming out of retirement, just big names that, maybe they'll stick around for a couple fights or a season and put some eyes on it. And then from there, they can just keep building.
I feel like it's going to be like WWE, where you have a whole fight card that gets started and is going, and then halfway through you hear the walkout song of your favorite fighter. And then like Chuck Liddell comes running down the stage and jumps in the cage, and he's fighting, I don't know, fucking Rashad Evans, or Rampage Jackson. And it's just like a big fun thing. And everyone's like, no way. Maybe you have a tag team thing.
I mean, anything is possible. I think what they're trying to do is it's kind of like, soccer teams, football teams. You can own one of these teams, so they can package it nicely, make it appealing to mainstream audiences because of the team aspect, and then they can sell the teams. And that's how, they keep it going. That's just how I feel like would be a good idea to do it. I don't know if that's actually what they're doing, but to, package an MMA team and sell it seems interesting, right?
Do you have a name? Does the LA team have a name yet? Like the LA, I don't know, the LA.
It's Team LA. Leave it to the girls. Alima is on Team LA with me, and she started a group chat amongst all of us. Ooh. So maybe we'll start figuring it out.
You need to float some names. Float some names for the LA crew.
I'll think about it.
At least. Palm trees. Wait, what's something? It has to be like MMA, but Cali.
Well, I mean, palm trees is definitely like there. But
it is
something beachy.
It could be like a palm slap tree. The palm slap trees. I don't know. I'm trying to think. What's a pun that you could use for it?
You're asking a lot of me right now.
Yeah. I don't know.
We'll circle back.
Yes. Say it in the comments.
Yes, give us some ideas. Come on.
Yeah, we got to keep using the chat. We keep forgetting to use the chat for
Speaking of forgetting.
Mini brains.
Yeah, whoever won the raffle last week that we announced, I still have nothing in my DM. Not in mine on Two Straws. Don't DM me. I never look at that. Slide into the Two Straw DMs.
Slide in there and let us know your address. What is his name again? It was like something Hillier.
Hilliard.
Kyle Hillier or something like that.
The last name was Hilliard for sure.
Okay. Yes, Guy. Make sure to slide into our DMs and send us that address, because I got a lot of good goodies from UFC Fight Night. Actually, I don't.
Just stealing from everyone's locker room.
There's something. I got something that you'll want. It'll be like, I don't know, a blood-soaked towel or something.
Yeah.
Something fun like that.
Who doesn't want that?
Yeah, exactly. So make sure to do that. And, we'll be good to go.
Yes.
Well, this has been another Two Straws. Make sure to tune in next week.
Yes. For UFC Seattle, if it doesn't fall apart anymore.
Oh, God, yeah. Hopefully.
Knock on wood.
We got this. You don't ever pulls out of stuff. Neither Song Yadong. We got a main event at least.
Yeah, we do, for sure.
At least.
And I believe in Brendan Allen and Anthony Hernandez.
Oh, yeah. Brendan Allen, they both of them. They never.
Yeah, they're solid. They're good.
Solid, cold.
We at least got a handful of fights.
Yeah. Good ones. All right, guys. I'm going to drink more. Bye.
Bye.